earthquake happened, when it stopped, I was like, why me? Because I'm so young. Why do I have to see my house down? Why do I have my uncle die like this? Why do I have to see those people in the streets dying? It's because I was so young. When I heard Alicia's story, I thought that it was very sad because she had to leave on the morning of when Katrina hit New Orleans. And she was, I think, 10 years old. I think it's important to share her story because it's kind of a way of saying what you have in your heart.
Whatever comes first to your mind is the right answer. This isn't something that really requires, you know, thinking deeply about.
I'm Coralie. I wonder why I'm not an American. I hear what everybody say.
I'm going to walk you through creating a story in your own words. You can talk about where you live. You can talk about how you get to school.
You don't have to make any kind of structure at this point. It can just be putting down pieces of information on a page. And so what I want you to think about is your story when it comes to Katrina or anything else that you want to write about, and what that's going to mean to the person that you tell it to.
From generation to generation, my ancestors moved to the USA, where they grew crops and had children. 50 years later, I was born into Louisiana and the city of New Orleans. I grew up in a rough neighborhood where everyone knew everyone. I became addicted to football. Now, every Sunday, I go to my grandma's house, and she makes gumbo that's so good. The shrimp and meat and other ingredients are so tender, makes you want to eat the bowl.
That's fabulous.
Heather's going to start you on the art portion of this, and I'm going to walk you through creating a story in your own words.
Story Swap teaches people to really not only be a good storyteller, but learn how to listen and reflect and take that moment and understand a deeper side of themselves. We're going to brainstorm the story you want to share, because that's probably the most important part of this, is what do you want to tell?
Keeping things inside of you, it's not going to change anything. It'll make you feel better. When you express yourself, it kind of feels better.
You're going to sit one-on-one, and you're going to look at your partner. You're going to have one student in New Orleans who becomes your partner, and you're going to tell them your story, and they're going to tell you their story.
They get a chance to look their partner in the eye, and in this case, it was a satellite feed between Haiti and New Orleans.
That moment, I felt the house shaking, and I say, "Daddy, Daddy," and
the one thing that really stood out to me about Story Swap was that I never thought that I could care for somebody that I really didn't know. Like, I care for my sisters and my brothers because they're my sister and my brother. But I just know this person for like 5 days, and I already feel like she a part of my life.
How you doing? My name is Clarence.
Hi, my name is Isabel.
My mom, she was like, "I'ma stay. The hurricane gonna pass. The hurricane gonna pass." And I just started crying. Like I was like very weeping about it. Like I couldn't control myself. I just was crying. And finally, my uncle convinced her to leave. It was like massive traffic, and we was in traffic for about 26 hours, packed in one car. Me and my brothers and my sister. Well, me and my brothers, my mama, my grandpa. It was very hot in the car. And when we got to Texas, the hurricane hit New Orleans. And we had stopped at this shelter. And that was like one of the most devastating things I've seen. Like it was showing the pictures of my house getting blown away, how high the water was, like people floating in water.
And thank you for sharing your story. That was very sad. The cell phone was ringing, and I answered, and this was my aunt. I heard my mom screaming. I said, "What's going on, Mom? You're not the same." And she said, "My grandma died."
I'm sorry about your grandma. I'm sorry about your grandma. One thing that really connected with me is when my story partner, Isabel, when she said that her grandma died. And as soon as she said that, I just thought back, like, my grandma died a couple of years back. And I felt like that really connected both of us. Like, when she was telling her story, she started to cry, and I felt very, very bad about it because like, she just lost one of the most important things in life. And, like, I felt the same way.
Brothers and sisters with no blood ties, sharing no fathers or mothers helps me realize that all who are here are the ones who care, and all that is clear is that they'll be there. When I feel myself leaking, when I feel no air, when I'm no longer speaking, I know they'll be there. I know that when I'm gone, I'll leave behind something that's strong.
I'm Sébastien. I'm 14 years old. I live in Haiti.
In Sebastian's story, I felt more pain for him because mostly it was just of how he had to sit there and watch the blood and gore and just watch all of his home basically collapse in front of him. It basically kind of hurt me. I've mostly learned is that, you know, as me being a teenager, you know, I have problems. You can help people no matter what, and that you should help people. If you feel that way towards your family, you can feel that way towards another person outside of your family. Whether we have blood relation or not, we are all here and we all share the same space.
On the day of the hurricane, we just started like driving, and we was in a shelter for like a month. My mother, she actually got real sick, and we had to like call 911. That was the last time I saw my mother for like 2 years, and that's when like everything changed. And I think I was like 14 at the time, and it was just me and my little brothers and sisters. And that made me just be like the one to stand up and like take care of the family. When she was in the hospital, she died, and she came back alive.
Tuesday, January 12th, I was in my house and I felt the house shaking. And I said, Daddy, what's happening? He says, Coralie, get out of here. Hey, Melessia, I'm Coralie. I'm listening to your story and I'm so sad. And it's hot. Your story is a little bit like mine because her mom died and she returned to life, and my mom too.
Their thinking is so fresh, they're so enthusiastic. The students rewrite that story that they received from their partner in Haiti or New Orleans and absorb the words that they had just heard, try and put themselves in that person's shoes.
I think for the students, it definitely helped them develop different things that they didn't know, different skills, writing skills, thinking skills.
I think it's good to write somebody's story. You feel exactly what you always feel. It's like when you read a book, you are the person in the book. That this story becomes your story.
Now you said something about the feeling you associate with this image. What?
And there's this really delicate red strip.
To make an art piece, the first thing that came to my mind was Hurricane Katrina. And then I thought about the earthquake. I was like, what if I just could put them two together and like use them as symbols between like the different experiences me and my partner and I had in Haiti. And I was like, this would be very good. And I just did it.
I think it's important for students to express themselves through their art because it gives them a different medium. If you're struggling with your written language, if you're struggling with your spoken language, sometimes it's just a refresh. It's just going to allow your brain another method of maybe getting closer to what you actually think and what you mean.
I came up with the idea of the art piece because I just wanted to create something bigger than what all she told me. What else could express what she told me than a real dirty cardboard and put a hole in it. And that's her heart and how the earthquake just broke in her heart. And it just like caught me like, all right, I'm gonna do this for her. About Haiti, I feel like what they've been through can never be covered by words. It's just so much bigger than that.
We have gone through something of fear, but we shared something and we've learned from one another.
The day of the earthquake, I felt the building shaking with me and everybody started to run because we didn't really get what was happening. I was wondering what happened to all my friends, to my dad, to all my other families.
I had lost my grandmother, so it was kind of hard for me because I was pretty close with her and everything.
To see all the places that you used to hang out with your friends and, all the friends left too. And, it's going to take a bunch of time to rebuild everything, just trying to be strong and try to live with what's left. We used to drive by and have fun, but we can't even do that anymore. I mean, seeing all the people in the street without families, without home and everything, it's kind of sad and depressing too. I'm glad to go back to school because the first step in life to achieve is education. And without that, you can't be anything.
I do not want this to be a one-time thing. For me, I'm going to use some of this in my programs to be able to allow my students to fill the shoes of another student. Besides thinking about yourself or themselves, you have to learn how to think of others too. And there are other people who are just as you, just as bad as you, or even worse than you, who has those same things.
It was hard because it was just two options, to die or try to get out. Like every hour go by, the water get higher and higher. So it was like scary. It was kind of like a movie. And they had people dying in the water, and it was painful because to get in that water and to see that, you had to make it.
The hardest part about telling my story would be I had no news about my mother. I was singing and crying at the same time, and it was very, very hard for me to say it because people would be thinking, what is she thinking? She's singing while people are dying. Well, it's my way of being strong.
The story swap was definitely it's original. I needed it because what I have seen, to be honest, it's really terrible. It's really terrible. I needed it because there were certain parts of me that was hidden myself, there were certain things within myself that needed to be transformed and released. And by hearing them, it kind of gave me a little bit more, it kind of pepped me up. It gave me a little bit more energy to not keep what I have inside and to be able to express what I've been going through with others too.
We would like to welcome all of those watching remotely to the first ever International Story Swap presented by the Aspen Writers Foundation.
I think that the most important part of having the video conference available was the final day. It felt like a reward to see these students that we've gotten to know through their stories, to be able to share with them what was created. I definitely believe that a bond between these students will last. You could see it in their faces, you could hear it in their voices. By the very end, when I saw what they produced and saw how they interpreted their partner's stories, I truly believed that they were able to absorb absolutely every part of what a story swap should be.
Three choices: die inside the pool with no oxygen and food, die in the water, or go outside and swim and will survive.
I was going into the streets to find my mama when I seen blood all on the ground and missing body parts. But the one thing that scares me the most was my school falling. And I remember a great man saying this: no matter how hard you fall, it's about how fast you get up. Thank you, Clarence, and I believe.
My name is Coralie. I like soccer and basketball. I look like a boy, but I am not a boy. Be strong and try to forget that sad story. Thank you.
I would like to thank all of you for sharing your stories with us, and to tell you to never lose hope, that it's always there hiding somewhere and that you have to find it. Thank you.
I just really believe Story Swap has changed me too. It's not about me sharing my story, but witnessing. And I love what happened here. It's not something that you can quite describe. I really hope people just stop and think about what story in their life has really made them who they are, because those are the stories we all want to hear. And we have these moments that we hold on to and don't ever come to the front. We don't acknowledge.
When you talk to the other kids and you share your story with them, they know that they're not alone, and they're not the only ones that had problems and lost a bunch of people that they loved. So they know that we all together, and we just form like a family.
If I had one thing to say to Coralie, is that you are a very strong person. You are stronger than me. Because after Hurricane Katrina, every day I just cried and I was by myself. But I just wanted to tell you that you are not alone.
I'm your partner. My name is Coralie, and be strong, don't cry. Try to forget that story. Very sad. Thank you.
I'm glad that I met y'all and found out about y'all experiences. Now, the only thing I have to say is, God is watching down, and He asking y'all just to keep standing, because later on, not right now or not tomorrow, He gonna help y'all. And if y'all just keep praying to Him, He gonna be there for y'all. And y'all just gotta help yourselves and keep standing, no matter what. Even if y'all houses and everything are broke down, everything is not in place and everything is not good for you, you know, just think for a sec, look up, and just ask God to help.
Retrouver le sourire. Parce que la vie, c'est pas facile des fois, mais un jour, quand même elle retrouvera le sourire.
Okay, she says that to her friend in New Orleans that you have to take life how it comes, and life is like this. There will be good times and bad times, and that you have to keep on smiling because that's the best way to have courage.
Thanks.